Frank Wijen. I'm an associate professor of strategic management at RSM. And so my research deals with corporate sustainability in a broad sense.
So how would you recommend PhD students that are working with senior members ensure that the ethicality of the research that they're conducting?
So first of all, I think be very careful in selecting your co-author. So I think for a junior scholar it would be very worthwhile to consider joining. So that's what I did myself when I was more junior. I co-authored with a very experienced scholar and that worked out very well. So that's a great learning experience. But also be very careful in picking the person you're working with. I think for PhD students it's a delicate situation since there's a dependence situation vis-a-vis the supervisor, which by the way is a bad situation, I think. So it's difficult to completely pull out of that, but still I think you can speak up within reasonable bounds and say, okay, this is if you are to be a co-author, would you please then add some more of your insights and use your experience to bolster the paper rather than just drop a few lines of comments.
Generally, do you consider co-authors, they should be fully aware of everything that's going on in the paper that they publish?
I think typically there is a sort of a specialization in the paper. So if you have people who do exactly the same thing, where is the added value then apart from splitting up the work? So typically it works better if someone is more, let's say, well versed in data analysis and the other person more in framing. So I think somehow, because we tend to come up with these protocols around ensuring transparency and tracing the origin of the data, I think it's a bit naive to, and even I would say it goes against the trust-based nature of doing research, that you sort of want to make sure that these data have really been produced in a faithful way. So I see there's a weakness here in the sense that you trust someone and maybe the person is cheating on you. At the same time, are you going to say, okay, show me the origin, which is a sign of mistrust? So this is a difficult
some sort of dilemma, right?
Absolutely. If there's one thing where I would be strongly caution you, it would be make sure to never mess up the data. So what do you mean by data manipulation? Is that a sort of cleansing, like removing outliers to make it look nicer, or is it really to sort of creatively reorder the data in order to force certain patterns upon the outcomes? If the latter interpretation holds, I would say never ever do it. You can commit that sin only once. If you get caught, your academic career ends immediately. That's something you should never ever do. So the worst thing, which is still, let's say, within the range of tolerance, or which can be forgiven in a way, is that you have a sort of an extensive or creative interpretation of the outcomes. But the data themselves, never ever manipulate them.